Yo, yo, what's up? It's Phelan.
And it's Pharis. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome to the channel. We want to have a conversation about COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2. This has really changed our whole world, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about with health, but then there's the economy. I mean, your personal life. What goals can you accomplish? Can you go on a trip in 2020?
Yeah, can you watch the sports that you want to watch? Can you attend the basketball, football games as you did before?
And you would venture to say
that you will not be watching.
You will not be going to the NFL. You will not be going to Texas Stadium.
Yeah, most hopeful part is that we can even watch the game, but even that's at a real small percentage.
So you think there might not even be NFL games?
Yeah, no, because you have to keep the players from having COVID, right? Because one player goes out on the field, tackles 22 people. 22 people with COVID.
That's true. You got how many players on the team?
You got 58 active players.
58 active players. So how many teams we got?
32.
Okay, so I don't have a calculator, but that's a lot of tests.
Yeah, it's over 2,000 players.
Yeah.
And you would have to do that every time they walk into the facility.
Right, because you don't know where they've been. And...
Right. I mean, you just had the UFC fight this past weekend where they didn't fight in front of any fans, but you had one fighter who tested positive days before the fight. So obviously he stayed quarantined, stayed whatever in his own circle, but still ended up getting COVID right before $1 million fight. You can't prevent
You're still gonna have some mishaps.
So you take like the White House, for example, who's telling us go back out to work, socially distance, here are the rules to getting back out and being successful. But then
the coronavirus now reaching the West Wing with one of the president's personal valets testing positive.
There is a member of the vice president's team who is positive for coronavirus. We have put in place the guidelines that our experts have put forward to keep this building safe. So as America reopens safely, the White House is continuing to operate safely.
The White House can keep coronavirus one step away from President Donald Trump, but yet we expect you, or they expect you, to go to work, to go to Chili's, go to AMC and watch a new movie.
Get your haircut, go get a massage.
And then that's the thing I'm trying to understand. How do you get a massage? Or maybe a massage isn't so bad, but the haircut. I saw a video clip, and you guys probably saw this too. You put on a mask, right? Now, as you can see, a haircut is something I really need right now. But you put on the mask, but I mean, look at all this, hang time. Like, I need a lineup. Like, I can't have on a mask.
Well, I mean, what, they pull the strap to the side, keep it on, hit the side, put it back on you?
Perhaps. No, I don't know about it.
I mean, I think what you really have happening is the government is putting the economy before the lives. And they're giving us the messaging that if we practice, if we demonstrate this way of getting back into society, that we're less susceptible and that we will prevent the spread. But really, that's not the case.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. It's giving people a false sense of security. And I think the message that people need to understand, and I think Americans are starting to get it, because the polls say that most people agree that the stay-at-home should still be in place.
I mean, from a poll perspective, but then when you go outside and you go past a highway that has all these restaurants, I mean, the parking lots are past 25 capacity.
Are people wearing masks?
Yeah, I would put it at about 85%. Obviously, your older population is wearing the mask more than your younger population is.
I mean, if everybody's not wearing the mask, especially the people carrying it, then I don't get what good that does.
Well, and I also have an issue with when we coin the term face covering, right? And not mask, because mask we identify N95.
N95.
But now we're saying just covering your face will protect the spread.
Here's how you can make your own face covering in a few easy steps with items you can find around the house, like an old scarf, or you can make a face covering out of an old t-shirt. Fold it to the middle from the bottom, and again from the top, and then 2 rubber bands, and you have yourself cloth face covering. It's that easy.
Right, I still have an issue with that, because are these masks really stopping the droplets
from coming out
through?
No, I agree.
And in the same way, if I had a mask on and you have the droplets, is it prevented from coming in?
But think about it. When it first started, what did they say about masks?
Don't wear them.
You don't need to wear one. Don't try to go get a mask. And then what happened? Now all of a sudden,
you have to wear a mask. Why aren't you wearing a mask?
Exactly. But to your point, they said wear face coverings because they know there's not enough masks. Nurses and doctors cannot get critical PPE. So because they did not have enough masks to go around, they told you didn't need one, when in actuality, they knew the whole time we needed a mask. I mean, they act like the Chinese, like, literally told us nothing. Like, I understand we have issues trusting the Chinese and trusting the numbers, but the science was coming out. Asian countries just typically wear masks when pandemics happen. I mean, they have experience with SARS, and they know that if you wear a mask, you protect each other. This whole idea about going out in public and, for instance, eating at a restaurant.
Right.
Because if you eat at a restaurant, on the one hand, they're telling you, you know, you should probably wear a mask to protect other people. But yet, you're going to go to a restaurant, take off your mask to eat, and even if we went from having 100 people in the restaurant, we have 25, all it takes is one person with coronavirus to come in there, pull down that mask, start breathing coronavirus, the air conditioner's blowing, whatever, the fans, whatever, and then you're going to get coronavirus.
Well, and so that goes to what I think really the case is. They know we're not preventing it. They're just trying to lower the amount of people that can potentially be infected with it at any given time. The containment strategy is out the window or hasn't even been put into effect. Really, we're at a mitigation where we're saying we want to manage the amount of people that end up in the hospital, manage the amount of people who die, so forth.
Is looking at everyone from a numbers perspective and then saying how much can we tolerate? How much can we deal with? So you have to make a personal decision. Do I want to be in that number?
Yeah. Do you want to get the massage today? The haircut today? Do you want to go eat, Taco Tuesday? These are decisions we have to start making, and then, especially as African American people, we have to start making even more conscious decisions because of the underlying factors that have already been put out in studies saying that we're 60% of the deaths wherever we're highly concentrated.
I suffer from asthma, so that's an underlying condition for me right there. But many of us have diabetes, hypertension. I mean, any history you have of blood clotting. We're finding out so much more information about different symptoms. People having heart attacks and strokes and pulmonary embolisms, and things break off and cause a stroke. We're really at risk, and we shouldn't be the ones going out there. We have to stick together when it comes to this. And I think we need to find new ways to support each other economically online. I would even go as far as to say I wouldn't mind if we could find a way to come up with a fund where African Americans who choose to not go out and work, like if you're the gig economy type person,
go fund me.
Yeah, do it for the fam, So I think that's also important.
Yeah, so no, we definitely are far from having this thing under control. I think a lot of things that we're talking about right now is still highlighting how we're in the midst of a pandemic and a problem. The only thing that's changed is that the economy has been now put in front of the amount of deaths, amount of cases.
Yeah. That's all that's changed. Messaging has changed. They were forced into it. It didn't have to be like this. We didn't have to be in a place as a country where we had to shut down and be stuck in the house.
Well, no, I mean, South Korea, who went and did, a lot of testing way ahead of even what the cases showed at the time. Here we are with 1.4 million cases and we're trying to do 300,000 tests a day when we need millions of tests a day. Even with the president going up yesterday and saying that if you need a test, you get a test.
If people want to get tested, they get tested.
Right.
You still can only get a test if you quote unquote need a test, which means you're sick.
There are some researchers who are saying we need anywhere from 500,000 tests a day on the low end to up to 20 million tests a day. We're only doing between 200,000 or so. Let's talk about why testing is so important.
Well, I mean, testing is important because if you don't know where it came from, then you can't contain it.
And contact tracing is essentially when you find someone, person A has coronavirus, they spread it to person B, C, D, and E, and then once you find out person A has it, you ask person A, hey, where have you been? Who have you been in contact with? You go and find those people and say, okay, where have you been? Let's get you tested. And that way you can isolate those people and prevent them from spreading it.
Why we acknowledge testing is not preventative. And then we'll use testing strategically for contact tracing purposes.
We're in America, though, and we have rights and we have liberties, and Second Amendment. How are you going to start, coming into my house? There was HR 6666.
Let's talk about House Resolution 6666. There's a video going around, some doctor, some people say they doctors, I don't know. And he's promoting this message. We'll just let you hear what this message is.
House Resolution 6666. That is not an exaggeration. I have no idea how this works, but this is what the actual House Resolution number is, 6666. And I couldn't believe that I heard this, but basically this act is to allow individuals to come into your house, and if you've got a cough or somebody in your family has a cough, or you have a fever or anything that they determine that shows that you have COVID-19, regardless of if you've been tested or not. They will also test people. They're going to use that to pull you or your loved ones, especially your children, away under pretense of public safety. They're going to say that your child has to be removed from you because you have COVID-19, and so to protect your child, we're going to take that child. Or we're going to take your grandmother or your father or you and put you into quarantine. This is a bunch of BS. They're using this as an attempt to further divide us as individuals. They divided us from our friends, from our social circles. Now they're dividing us from our own family units. This is the most ominous sign so far that we've seen. I want you to all wake up. I want you to pass this information on. I want you to tell every single person that you know what's happening.
All right.
Everybody knows about the mark of the beast, the 666. So the House Resolution bill supposedly is coming to take you out of your house if you have coronavirus and put you in a FEMA camp or something. And this the beginning of taking your rights.
Take your kids from you.
Take your kids from you. This is misinformation. Let's just break this down real quick. There's a House Resolution 6664. A House Resolution 6665, 6667, 6668. So it's a pure coincidence that that's the number.
To award grants to eligible entities to conduct diagnostic testing for COVID-19. To support the quarantine of such contacts through services related to testing and quarantine at their residences.
It's allocating the money and the resources so people can come to your door and say, hey, have you had a COVID
it's
test?
basically saying I'm in Baltimore, I'm in the hood.
I'm in the hood.
I'm going to make an outreach.
Yeah.
Just like the census. Like, I'm going to come into your neighborhood, I'm going to say, hey, do you want to get tested?
Right.
It's not that I'm forcing you to.
And I'm so glad you used Baltimore as an example, because part of the reason why this resolution was so important is because you talked about the numbers. 60% of the people who are dying are African Americans. So there's obviously a lack of resources being put into our community. Right. So when something like this is passed, it's there to help us. But then when you get this message that these people are trying to come and take you and throw you in a FEMA camp, then you're less likely to open the door if the government comes to try to help you. It's very damaging because something that's put in place to actually help you, like especially, you're scared of it and now you're not utilizing it as a resource and we're already at a disadvantage. So that's what's so dangerous about misinformation like that. And that really bothers me because how many people watch that video and then actually go read the resolution and think, okay, where in this resolution did it say somebody gonna take me out my house?
I mean, but just within this day, I've seen multiple posts within the same context, whether it was Facebook,
right,
or like the misinformation spreads quick. The same way the 5G stuff spread quick, which I hope is going now. I mean, we're a few weeks
5G.
removed from the 5G stuff. We're a few months removed from the conspiracy theories about CEOs and it being a whole.
Plandemic, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, Plandemic. And
Bill Gates.
Then there was the video that came out with the one chick who's been talking about Dr. Fauci and the Plandemic thing that everybody gravitated towards on Facebook, which has now been removed because it really doesn't stand on much. Yeah. That's one thing that we have to start doing better. We have to start filtering our information better.
We gotta do better at viewing information, observing information, taking time before you react and think about it. You might have an emotional response, that's fine, but think about what you just watched. Did they mention a law? Did they mention an article? Did they mention a book? Go find it, read it for yourself. Yeah. Talk about it with a friend, a family member.
Check the website that it came from. Just look at the credibility of the person who's talking about it.
Right.
So if it's crystal clear and one day she has on a scrub,
A shower cap.
a scrub, and then the next day she's in her living room. I mean, everything just fell apart. But so just be more diligent with who you take information from. And that's part of why we decided to make this channel, is because we want to break down the news information, make it translatable,
right,
make it relatable, also give you the facts and the sources.
Yeah, and the thing is, me and Pharis, we're not doctors, right?
Right.
We're normal people just like you, but we spend a lot of time reading the news. We want to be able to aggregate the news, and mainly we want to just talk to you. We want to just have a conversation. We're two brothers.
We're brothers, we're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
We just want to talk about what's going on. We talk on the phone all the time, and that's an extension of what this channel is. And we want to have a conversation and a dialogue with you. So we definitely want you to leave a comment. Let us know what you think about what's going on with the reopening. Are you ready to go out to eat and get a haircut?
Yeah, let us know. It'll be interesting times. We'll be bringing these videos to you twice a week. Holla at the boy.
Make sure to like and subscribe.